Good morning. My name is John Hierdink, and welcome to our Tribe Public CEO presentation titled Optimizing the AI Hybrid Cloud and Data Center for Sustainability. Today's event will be co-hosted by Richard Thorpe, President and CEO of Pebble Incorporated. As many of you know, I am the managing member of Tribe Public. Our website, again, is tribepublic.com. That's TRIBE public.com. We have members from 31 plus countries in all 50 states that have joined Tribe Public freely to gain direct corporate access to leaders and experts they care about. Members furthermore may submit names via our wish list process at our website, adding names of companies and subjects from all sectors and topics that they can learn more about and get their questions addressed sometimes from these experts in management. Please note that I'm also the managing director of Vista Partners, LLC, a registered investment advisor in California, and its website is Vista P Global. Please review both sets of disclaimers at each side and know that I am a shareholder and advisor to Pebble Incorporated. In addition to our webinar events, we also host corporate-sponsored CEO luncheon and dinner events across 36 Tribe event sites throughout the U.S. currently, from San Francisco, where I'm based, to Philly and back. And we hope to see many of you in person at one of these events in the near future. We look to cover all subjects, including the one today: climate control, environment, energy, to healthcare and biotech, and everything in between. It's really a reflection of your interest. And that's how today's event has come to fruition, as one of the Tribe members reintroduced the chairman, Chet White, to me, who I'd worked with a long time ago. And he compelled and helped explain to me what he was doing as he had founded Pebble Incorporated. I was very excited to discover this. Again, today's co-host is Richard Thorpe, President and CEO of Pebble Incorporated. Pebble is a company that is at the forefront of the booming AI-powered sustainability market, strategically positioned within the AI hybrid cloud sector and projected to grow 13x in the next 5 years. Their innovative platform empowers enterprises to dramatically reduce cost, energy consumption, carbon emissions, and water usage by optimizing AI cloud data centers across hardware, software, and influence in real time. I would also like to thank all of you for participating and for all of your questions that you've submitted already, and remind you that you may also submit in more questions throughout this event via the Zoom chat feature during the event. Note that this is only about a 30-minute event today, but if you don't get all your questions answered, we could also request to see if we could get Richard back at some point. After this event, a video will be produced and published at the Tribe Public YouTube channel, and will also be sent out via our Tribe This Week, our e-newsletter that goes out at the end of each week. If you would need to reach me, you can reach me at John, John, at tribepublic.com after this event. If you have any questions or further interest, I'm happy to connect you with management. Now let's get started. Richard, if it's okay, since we haven't had you on before, could you just tell us a little bit about yourself and what brought you to being the CEO of Pebble today? And then after that, bring up your presentation, we'll get going.
No, of course. And thank you very much, John, for the invite, and thank you to Tribe. So I'm the CEO of Pebble. I'm passionate about technology and sustainability, and actually making sure that we can find a sustainable business model to actually making sure that we can be sustainable. And I think for so long, sustainability and every other kind of linked analogy to that has always been a tick box exercise for corporates, and making sure that we can build a business that actually makes a true difference. It was key to me, and that's something that Pebble does, and something that I'm very, very keen to make sure that the world sees, and making sure that we can make a true difference to this ever-growing, energy-hungry world that we're currently living in. So no, thank you again for the invite, and happy to walk you through kind of who Pebble is and what we're doing, and answer any questions that anyone has.
Thank you, Richard.
So, Pebble is an AI-powered sustainability company. As you rightly say, John, we're focused on the AI hybrid cloud. Our aim is to make sure that we really drive value into kind of the AI cloud data centers and applications that are ran within inside those centers and direct, but fundamentally reducing costs and also carbon emissions. So as I go through the deck, by all means, I'll go through kind of top line. And as John said, we're happy to do further calls with people who want more information or have questions that I may not answer today. But the main reason for Pebble is around the challenges that we currently see on our planet. We know from, just AI, the exponential demand on energy has become incredible. And we probably don't know how big that's going to get, but it's growing at unbelievable rates. We know just simply recently from NVIDIA and ARM and I'm sorry that the rates could be incredibly high. And just one of those you can see on the screen in front of you actually is 20% of US energy by 2030 will be taken up by data centers. And weirdly enough, actually, we think it could be higher in some other countries around the planet. And that is an incredible volume that we need to make sure that we can manage and measure and give a solution to make sure that these companies have something that's much more efficient. So we know things like the Lumen Scope 3 on top of the 1 and 2 is a big thing now. For those that you don't know, how we have to now report and manage exactly what we do from a carbon emissions perspective. Predominantly, I'm based in Europe, and in Europe, Scope 1, 2, and 3 has become an incredibly big, strong thing now for our companies. And what we're finding is actually 1 and 2 has been around for some time, but number 3 is very, very hard to measure and very, very hard to put it into perspective where you can actually understand the data in an auditable state in order for that to be used from an accounting perspective. So as of last year and moving definitely into 25, this is not only now mandated in several countries around Europe, but also will become a key point to how we actually start to view companies, not just from a government perspective, but also from a supply chain perspective. So we'll come across some of these points as we go through this deck. But Pebble's solution to this is really been on 3 major things. And one of those is around AI optimized hybrid cloud. And you mentioned as the introduction, John, and thanks again for that, is about how do we actually do that? Who are we and how does that work? And for us, it's around making sure that we map and completely understand the cloud that our customers are using and making sure that we then optimize that to make sure that the best output is there for the customer. But for 2 things, one, from the carbon side, but also from a cost reduction side. With our proprietary AI-driven predictive models, our aim is to make sure that we work with the client to give them the best recommendations for them to get the best return on investment of further choices. So be that not just in carbon remediation, as I said, but also actually saving a lot of money on energy, which is the net result of that is a lot of money on cost. And we have all of the solutions now and technology inside Pebble to make sure that we can give that incredible insight to our customers to make sure they can, in this ever-changing world, especially with AI, get a much more bottom line, much more attractive bottom line than what they're currently getting. Our other area is this 100% automated platform. As I mentioned, with the scope 1, 2, and 3, this is something that just has to happen now. So for us, the scope 1, 2, and 3 is something that has to happen, as I just said, but also will become a norm for every company. So we don't see this as something that is anything special outside of other companies. We have to do it and we'll all have to do it. But on top of that, the AI optimization hybrid cloud solution gives something that no one else really is driving at the moment. So we're very, very proud of it at Pebble. So as I said, the Pebble AI automation is a real clear area of how we start to give huge cost savings to our clients and making sure that they build a much more efficient and sustainable business as we move through this very, very heavy AI world that we don't really know where that's going, right? So the AI hybrid cloud infrastructure at the moment, from working with Pebble and the solutions that we have internally, we suggest that we will save up to 30% on those cost savings from an infrastructure perspective. The AI power sustainability optimization, we are really keen and really confident that we would be able to see 15 to 25% faster timeline to net zero, or what we call internally beyond net zero. And obviously, the net effect of that means by cutting energy and reducing capex costs. So I think for us, this is always this blend in working together of one, doing the right thing and making sure we are reducing carbon emissions, but at the same time making sure that we reduce energy and therefore reduce costs, and therefore making sure that our customers want to come and work with Pebble, but also make sure that they get a benefit for doing so. The automated corporate carbon tracking will and is quite clear to see will reduce costs by up to 20%. Supply chain, as I mentioned earlier in the presentation, we will see naturally very, very large savings simply by automation of the supply chain, and also making sure that we manage and measure the supply chain regarding their own emissions and results to those emissions. And then finally here, we see the fleet and employee savings. So this is where we start to drive AI into clear automation of being able to optimize simple things like routes all the way through to man management of the actual employee base. As we all know as well in this space, obviously DeepSeek has been relatively new and has taken a lot of things by storm. But I think what it has done is really proven that AI optimization really drives an incredible saving. So therefore, we thought things were great already, but things are only getting better, especially for Pebble. So why now? I think the global acceptance of climate change is growing. For so long, we have seen this this area where people question it and not really know what's going on. But we have seen just simply in the last 12 months, floods in areas that have not seen them in 20, 30 years at a height they've never seen them at before. Winds beating majority of records ever seen, especially in Europe and other areas. Obviously, the terrible scenes of fires on the west coast of the United States, and then to back all this up, the hottest year on record. So we now have fundamental facts that back up any kind of people that question is climate change a thing? And I think on the back of all that, we now have this incredible movement of AI with ChatGPT, unprecedented demand, obviously on the AI cloud, as well as obviously the agentic side of AI as well. So now is without doubt what I would call the Goldilocks zone for Pebble, and making sure that we can deliver incredible solutions to make sure that we can give incredible savings for our customers. And that's why now is the moment for Pebble. And for many people, you probably do know on this call already, but for high growth, high margin, which is always important for a CEO of a business, we always want to do the right thing, but we want to make sure this is a profitable business. So we expect, projected margins of at least 80% in this space. And you'll see some of that on the screen here. But as I said, happy to share the deck. But I think fundamentally to the backup, this is a very high margin sector. And for us, it means that we can give incredible returns to our shareholders. The unique IT infrastructure optimization scanning area of Pebble is a lovely kind of first step in the journey of what we call into Pebble. So it allows us to quickly scan the cloud. It allows us to really understand the volumes and peaks and troughs around kind of the optimization of the cloud, but also the use. So we start to then be very, very smart, and we start to then give great insights based on that scanning. Just simply that one very simple step can save up to 30%, where we can start to just give further knowledge to the customer base. But the next stage is really where we start to get smart. So the automated area of where we start to build this with data means we can then start to really get maximum impact on how we really truly help the customer, but make sure they get these incredible savings by knowing and understanding their cloud and data better. So everything automated, we are always going to make sure that we give the analytics that are predicted, but also making sure that it's the least cost route to prioritize for maximum impact. And I think that's probably one of the most important things for us at Pebble, is making sure that we always deliver maximum impact, but always making sure that it's at the least cost. We will look at the cost savings of the automated area of this area of 15 to 25% faster, as I mentioned earlier. But to give an example of the automated data side, is that long-term savings of 1 million over 5 year a mid-sized enterprise. So if we look at mid-sized enterprises adopting this part of Pebble, we would expect savings in or in excess of $1 million. One of the things I think is we're very proud of in Pebble and growing by the week at the moment, and very nice for us to share on this call, John, is we are now partners of NVIDIA, which we're very, very keen and very, very happy to work with and see how we can start to work together to become incredibly smart and helping their customers and ours. And also now have joined as a partner now with Google as well. I'm actually traveling out to San Francisco next week, where we'll have further meetings with these guys to make sure we become very, very much more integrated, to making sure that we can help them to help us and vice versa. And there are further partnerships that will be coming on in the coming weeks that we can also share as and when they do. But I'm sure you'll understand that these two integral global brands in the space is a great sign of the confidence and peace of mind that people are getting in Pebble now, and also allows us to quickly accelerate what we're doing with our customers and future customers. But as part of Pebble, we also have what we call this Beyond Net Zero. I mentioned it earlier. And for us, it's around kind of going beyond what we can and making sure that we really get involved in projects to make sure that we give back. And again, this is some of the things that we can share. We can share another time, or John share with you to send to the tribe. But this is just some of the great projects that we're doing around the world. And you'll see our board that actually works with this part of Pebble in just a moment. So the management team, and I'm very, very lucky to say that I have an incredible team, and these guys also have an incredible team below them. You know me, the ugly guy on the left, Richard Thorpe, CEO of Pebble, and incredibly proud to be the CEO of Pebble. Michael recently joined Pebble as our CSO and has been an absolute asset since joining the company. Kevin is our VP of Engineering and AI Data Science. He's the smart guy in the room that helps us make sure that we always deliver. Pradeep has been probably the spine of the company to making sure that we create the best solutions for our customers, and that is always striving to make sure that we can deliver the development to make sure that we hit everything we need to inside the business. And then finally, to finish off the C-suite, we've got Mr. William Wardrop, who's our CFO. Sustainability board, as I mentioned, that really kind of helps us stay focused on our core strategy, but core being of Pebble is this Beyond Net Zero play that you saw the slide earlier. So we have Mr. Carl Page, board member of Anthropocene, Chet White, as you mentioned earlier, John, he's the chairman of Pebble, and finally Philippe Christo, who's the board member of Voici. And you will see just from these three gentlemen, and also the incredible team that I have alongside me, the experience of these people is incredible. And I think, you know, when some people look at a brand like Pebble that you may have heard of us or you may not have, really the brand comes down to the people that are steering the ship. And the brands and the experience that these people have are absolutely incredible, from huge brands from the development side to technology to strategy. And therefore, this should only give further people further peace of mind and confidence in what we're doing here at Pebble, but also what we can deliver. So some financials on Pebble. 24, as you can imagine, we're relatively a baby here, so we're moving quickly. But 24 was all around making sure development-wise we were ready to deploy and move fast. 25 is going to be a very, very interesting year. As you've already seen just from the presentation with NVIDIA and Google now on board, and further partners to come that we can't share at the moment, we expect probably these numbers to be easily delivered, if not surpassed. And it's going to be a very, very busy year for me and the team, but we're very excited and very much looking forward to it. So Pebble capital raise so far, John, and I won't go into too much depth because I know we're probably a little bit over time and we want to get into questions. But so to date, Pebble's raised 10 million from 7 institutional investors. We're currently raising 15 million. And our aim is to make sure that we kind of always work on obviously the A preferred, as you can see in front of us. And our aim would be if anyone's interested to obviously contact the contact details that will be on the next slide, also yourself, John, and see how we can then start to move things forwards. But that's kind of it from a presentation. I'd like to thank you and thank for everyone that's watched or listened, and really look forward to any questions and look forward to potentially speaking to anyone further.
Well, thank you again, Richard. It's such a compelling offering that Pebble, I think, is bringing to the world, and it's excited me from the first mention. We do have some questions here that in no certain order that let's quickly go through. First is the platform, and I believe you covered this, but let's just be clear, is the platform available to customers today?
Yes, yes, the platform is available to customers today. We are actively deploying pilots at the moment to make sure that we build and grow with our customer base. I think it's very, very important to get that kind of in parallel hand-holding play of where we build relationships for not just now but for the future. So yes, it is available, and we would love to speak to anyone that's interested.
Okay, thank you. And then with the recent addition of Pebble to the Google Cloud Advantage partnership and NVIDIA's agentic developer ecosystem is quite exciting. What value does Pebble add to such leading edge AI companies in your estimation?
Yeah, I think this comes back to some of the areas that I kind of covered off in the deck. And for me, Pebble's focus on sustainability brings this kind of unique insights across the enterprise hybrid cloud data center play. And what we do obviously there is to make sure that all of the AI interference and with unparalleled gains in cost savings. So for us, this is not just around kind of getting involved. It's around making sure that we can give those cost savings as well as making it more efficient and driving this carbon emission play as well.
Okay, thank you. Also, how many active clients are on the system and at what level of implementation, and are they referenceable?
Sorry, say that again. Sorry, Dom.
Says how many the question is how many active clients are on the system, the Pebble system, and at what level of implementation are they, and are they referenceable at this point?
So they are, by all means, we can reference them, in another way or different call with our guys. Well, a lot of it is under NDA, but at the moment we are going through our pilots and onboarding those. So we're kind of 5+ at the moment, of quite large, and obviously some of those partners that I mentioned in the slide deck are bringing larger, as you can imagine. But we can always reference them, but probably we do need to go through some NDA process.
Okay, great. Also, um, what percentage of your solutions are expected to be customized versus configurable, and how is that going to be incorporated in your pricing structure?
Great question. Great question. And I think there's twofold to that. I think our aim is to make sure that things are always customizable, because we want to make sure that this fits the client. It has to work for the client as well as it does for Pebble. But therefore, the big value around Pebble is making sure this is automated. So the aim really is to make sure that we set the rules and engagement from the start to then therefore make sure that this delivers. Because what we customize what is fine, if as long as you customize at a start point, and I don't always customize, otherwise it becomes the manual process. So yeah, so that by all means, I think from your next part of the question was around what does that look like from a price perspective. Now for us, out the box would be basic pricing, and then when we would look at things like customizable, there would be a different position on that. But again, that would be a one-on-one with the client to make sure that, one, how long is that going to take and what does it look like? As we know, everything from a small data or a large data play all the way through to a 1,000 data center business, it's a very, very different proposition. So we would just have to explore that, but that would be a one-on-one consultative kind of play.
Okay, thank you. And then what type of gross margin and revenue does Pebble expect in the next few years?
Yeah, again, as covered off in the deck, I think this could be exponential. I think we see ourselves conservatively in the deck at the moment as this quite big growth. But I think as we've seen in AI, just simply in the last 12 months, what's happened, we are heavily riding the wave. There's no one really doing what we're doing at the moment in the world. And we have a huge opportunity to make sure that we can drive efficiencies for what is going to happen. This isn't a is it going to happen situation now with AI. We know it's going to happen. So with Pebble, we have an opportunity to be able to help people on the way from energy costs all the way through to efficiencies, all the way through to making sure that they hit their sustainability goals from a carbon emissions place. So I think it's pretty hard to narrow down what I think that could be. But I think from our forecasted figures and the numbers are, in my eyes, conservative. And for me, those are conservative because of the way I look at the AI market and I look at the data center market, and I understand the volume of capital and capex at the moment is going into that space, as we all do. I think this will be a very, very fast growing area, and from us, allows us to have exponential growth.
Thank you, Richard. Here's a simple question. It's just a
I
confirmation.
like simple.
Well, here it is. What is your website URL?
Okay, so it's simply gopebble.com.
Okay, so geo and then pebble.com all together, and
Correct.
that should get you there. By the way, if you have anybody on here that has any issue, just ping me and I will send that URL right out to you. That's something I can handle as well. So again, you're raising $15 million, and you've had current investors and insiders that are looking to leading this with 4 million. Is that correct?
That's correct. That's
Okay.
correct.
And then is there a timeline on, looking to close this? It's just as soon as possible here over the next couple of weeks. Anything you would add to that, or?
Yeah, I mean, we've really just started on this journey, is what I would say.
Okay.
We as I just spoke around the growth, this space is going so fast, and for us, we want to make sure that we get on board quick, and we don't kind of miss some of those waves that I mentioned that we should be riding. So for us, we've just started this journey, but I think, confident that this will move fast.
Okay. For those of you that are asking about receiving an NDA, note that'll come out from the CFO, Will, and as I prompt them to. So if you're not getting that yet, just ping me and I'll follow up with Will and make sure that you get what you're looking for, so you get access to this additional information that is in their data room. I guess today, since we're right at the 30-minute mark, I'm going to invite you quickly to, sort of sum up any last thoughts regards to Pebble and what you'd like people to take away, and then I'll finish up.
No, and thanks, John. I think for me, just the simplest thing is it's either Pebble or or someone else, right? Because we have a huge opportunity here that to really, as I said, ride the wave of probably what is one of the biggest things that we've seen on our planet, which is AI and the speed that it's growing and moving. And for me, in summarizing where we're at Pebble, is optimizing this AI hybrid cloud and data centers for sustainability is crucial for reducing environmental impact and enhancing operational efficiency. And therefore, if we don't do that, we're going to have lots and lots of issues. So we have the solution to do that. We can do it. And therefore, there is no reason why all these larger players wouldn't do it. So for me, it's a no-brainer. I would say that, obviously, but for me, I think this is something that we need to get on board with, and we have an incredible solution. And I'm very, very proud to be the CEO of Pebble. And I thank you, John, and I thank you for all of your viewers as well for their time. And I've really enjoyed this. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. My pleasure, Richard. The last I would say is that after the exciting meetings that some of the management team had down in Orange County and San Diego, where I believe north of 20 VC funds are in the data room already and signed NDAs looking at this, and the interest, this should raise, I think, go probably fairly quickly according to my discussions and the interest around this. And then the groups that we had down in Orange County at our tribe events, I think were particularly interested as well. So it's exciting to see this feedback and this understanding, and able to meet Pradeep as well. That down there was your chief, your CTO. Brilliant guy. Again, if you look in his background out of Dropbox, just really great asset for this firm, and excited about what he's doing as well. But I want to thank you again. Very interesting topic. Look forward to having you back on as you make progress, and as you move along all of these corporations that I think you're going to help save a great deal of capital over the next year. And excited to learn more. And thank you for taking the time today. And good luck in the meantime. And look forward to helping in any way that I can. And hopefully the tribe across the world here will come to the table as well. And they're already expressing interest. So expect some calls and some emails coming your way. So thanks again, Richard. And thank you again, Pebble.
Thank you so much. Have a lovely day. Take care, everyone. Thank you.